Mr. Flores?
The
Sorry, do I have your name
compensation
correct?
of
Yes.
Richard
Okay,
Flores.
please.
Whoever wants to go.
Ms. Rothier just left. Ms. Rothier said in a recent interview that one of the primary reasons for homelessness among single males from a rehabilitation facility, a prison, or a mental hospital is because hospital workers or city case workers don't discharge former hospitalized or inmates without a safe discharge plan, and as a result, many people become homeless. I hope that sounded clear. Well, that's what happened to me. I was literally thrown into the street. I was evicted and thrown into the street with nowhere to go. I went to the Coalition for the Homeless for help, and I was told, we can't help you because you have an unemployment check and you get too much money from the state. We can't do anything for you. After that, I went to 30th Street. I was told, you can't come here because you don't have a substance abuse problem, sir. I said, no, I don't have a substance abuse problem. We can't help you. Everywhere I went, every agency I've been to, no one helped me. I've made repeated calls to, what is it, DHS? Is that what it's called? I got no help. They literally said, we can't help you, sir. I called the Legal Aid Society. They said, we can't help you. So to make a long story short, I haven't gotten any help. And I've been homeless for 4 years and a month. As far as criminalization of the homeless is concerned, I hope I can say this on camera, but I think the NYPD are pathological liars because I've seen what they do. I've been a victim of what they do. I've seen the arbitrary behavior that they conduct themselves with, and they were sitting here with you and you were questioning them, and they were giving you answers and saying, this is what we've done, these are the numbers, et cetera. But I've seen where they blatantly disrespect homeless people, including myself. And then it becomes a contentious situation because if I say something or if I get upset or if I feel like I'm not being treated lawfully, I can get arrested or something could happen to me. They could say he's deranged. He doesn't know, what he's talking about. He's on the street, et cetera. So it becomes a contentious situation. And then if you keep your mouth shut, then you won't get any help either. So the point I'm making is that if this kind of divisiveness continues to go on, how can anyone expect anything to get any better? That's between the police, even what I listened to here today, what I see on the street with civilians. There's divisiveness that's going on, and unless the people want to actually really deal with that, which I know this is about, nothing's going to get any better. And that's what's really alarming to me. If that divisiveness doesn't come together, it's only going to get worse. The numbers are only going to continue to grow. There's young kids right now who, as you said, live in shelters, and what's going to happen to them when they get older? That next group of people who unfortunately are going to find themselves in this kind of situation. So all I like to say is that to me there needs to be real communication, not a kind of semantical game of language. And I heard a lot of that go on here today, and I find that to be a little distressing amongst individuals who I consider to be very respectful and educated, and that you want to do a good job, and everyone seems to want to have change. But if even in the language that they're using, you can hear this kind of divisiveness going on as a result of economic and social reasons, I guess, how do they expect for change to happen? That's just a question I'd like to leave you with.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Here? Oh, come on down. Now we have a number of individual. Well, first is Betsy Pratt from Kingston Tenants Union here? I don't believe so. So now we have several different individuals, call them one at a time. First, Richard Flores, are you here? Oh, come on down. You're gonna, it's not a game show, but we're waiting for you. There's no, well, yeah. Maybe a better prize at the end.
And then if you know you're planning on testifying tonight, if you wouldn't mind moving towards the front so when we call you, you don't have to come from all the way in the back. Thank you.
Yeah, so just as Mr. Flores is settling in, the next person is, and I'm sorry if I don't get your name pronounced correctly, Zoran Kwame Mamdani, and then Boris Santos, and is Karim Walker here if you're the final individual.
They get 5 minutes each. You get 3 minutes, but we don't need to use it.
So begin when Mr. Flores, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Richard William Flores. I'm 54 years of age. I'll make this very brief. I'm originally a resident of Queens Village, New York. I've been homeless twice in 13 years. First in 2009, then from 2015 until now. I've sought assistance from several agencies in New York that are supposed to help individuals who are looking for or assistance for a place to live, including a DHS, Coalition for the Homeless. And I was denied because I received Social Security disability insurance. And before that, I was denied assistance because I received unemployment insurance. I was simply told that I received too much money from the state. And to my understanding, they were supposed to provide some sort of assistance other than sending me to a city shelter. I'd like to stray away from this for a moment and just pose a question to you, and which you've probably dealt with before. I think there are probably many individuals like me who unfortunately didn't know how the law works in reference to how someone can become evicted and what you can do to stop from being evicted. In the times that I was evicted, I didn't have legal counsel. So when I went to court, I naively did whatever the judge told me to do, which was if you can't pay, you have to vacate the premises. Not we'll give you a length of stay, or we'll look at your situation, or what they do with people who sign a lease. And I apologize if I sound naive, but I actually was that naive. So what I'm asking here is I would implore you to build more affordable housing units in New York City, and more affordable housing units are needed to help the state's most vulnerable populations, and requires a continued investment in services to function as needed. I think if there's a real problem with agency in our country, throwing people out into the street is not a solution in New York or anywhere in our country. And affordable housing is but one of the necessities of life that's needed to be addressed in America. I think the other thing that needs to be addressed is equality, whether it's education or whether it's your place of employment. And those two factors often lead to individuals becoming homeless. I don't have the knowledge to speak to you in terms of dollars and cents. I can only really speak to you from my own personal position. And I would imagine that everyone here would translate that into what that means in terms of dollars and cents and how that money is allocated to help individuals. That's all I'd like to say.
So on behalf of all the members, we thank you for being here. It's helpful for people to see the face behind some of the work that we're trying to accomplish for a homeless population and others who need affordable housing. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So next we have Zoran Kawami Mamdani.
Mr. Flores?
The compensation
correct?
of
Yes.
Richard
Okay,
Flores.
please.
And I've seen it all. I used to sleep in the street. But I would never be in a city shelter. I would go to Queen of Peace. My mother Teresa, that nun that died. And they opened the doors for me. I believe y'all have the power for this. I've been in and out the hospital with a stroke. And I think CASA helped me out. With my HPX, I'm gonna get them in court. And I'm gonna give them a fight. If I don't have a lawyer. And I believe all these tenants should have a lawyer. I see you on TV all the time. I've never been here. Okay, that's what I have to say.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rentas, for opening up and sharing your story and for being here today. Thank you. Mr. Flores? Sorry, do I have your name correct?
Yes.
Okay, please.
I'm in favor of passing Intro 214A. I think from every testimony that I've heard today, everyone who's testified today, it seems to be an issue of vulnerability. And almost anyone can be vulnerable to this situation. Ironically, I worked for a customer service. I worked as a customer service rep for a real estate company called Vantage Realty. They own properties in Queens and in Manhattan, and they were successfully sued by many tenants in the building for a variety of issues that were going on in the building. No heat, leaks in the apartment. The apartments were in a state of disrepair, and they were harassed by their landlords. They were calling Vantage over and over again. I spoke to the tenants on the phone, and the tenants used to come to the building crying, trying to save their apartments. So I myself was in a situation where I was evicted, and I didn't have representation in court, and I was evicted, and I was homeless subsequently as a result. So personally, I'd just like to say that I think that anyone can be vulnerable to this situation, and if they pass Intro 214, which I believe they're going to, it may be able to help everyone now and in the future.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. A very powerful note to conclude on. Thanks to everyone for joining us tonight. And I'd like to cue my colleague and partner in this effort, the great council member Vanessa Gibson, for some concluding words.
Ladies and gentlemen, you did it.
Mr. Flores?
The compensation
Sorry, do I have your name correct?
of
Yes.
Richard
Okay,
Flores.
please.